Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sam Crow Radio. This evening, I'm very excited because our guest is going to be none other than Eddie Cardenas, and hopefully I pronounced that the right way. We're going to be talking to Eddie this evening, first and foremost, of course, about his acting career, finding out a little bit about how he got into the business, talking to him a little bit about some of his side ventures with his motorcycle club, the various charities that he's involved with, getting a chance to talk about some of the new projects that are going to be coming up for him, and additionally just talking about him in general, actually. I'm very curious because I don't know a whole lot about Eddie, so this will be kind of a learning experience for both myself as well as yourself. As we had mentioned before, of course, the first half an hour will be an interview with Eddie himself. The second half hour, of course, is designed for you individuals who are listening to be able to call in and talk to him personally, ask him questions as well. So certainly, try to be patient as best as you can, and we'll see how many we can fit in this evening. So without further ado, let's get him on the line. Hello, Eddie.
Well, how you doing?
I'm doing well for a fine Thursday evening. How are you doing?
I am groovy.
I'm glad you were able to make it. I was a little concerned there. I thought, I wonder if we're going to get this interview in today. So I'm really excited that you're here.
Oh, I was honking and move out of my way. Yeah, I got to get over there.
Well, you're here. That's the important thing. It doesn't really matter. You're all in one piece. Hopefully everything is settled for you and you're okay now.
I am groovy, Cindy. I am groovy.
Okay. Good deal. I wanted to start off with the first question. Maybe if you would, could you begin by providing some background information into your younger years? If you could, maybe set the background as to how you enveloped into your acting career.
Wow, that gets really, really crazy. I was that kid with too much energy.
Okay.
Mom said, no sugar for you, right?
Right.
So I was like, bicycles, skateboards, and always wanting to be very adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
Out and about with the guys, and just be out and seeing and conquering the world, and hold on, I got you on my speaker here.
I see that.
Let's see, where's my mute? There we go.
Okay.
And so I continued on, and I found myself interested in the arts, and I did it like everything. There was BMX bikes, and then then I saw there was like street dancing, and I kind of got into that, and then I started studying some jazz, and then I did some work with Lionel Richie, some of the more high energy music back in the day, Soul Train. I was like really on that side of things, and I just kept trying to pursue Hollywood because it was within reach. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then as I got older, I had my son, and I ended up raising my son. So I had full custody of my boy, and I was, full-time mom and dad. And then I had met my wife, and we started a new journey together. So it's been a big time out, in life and taking care of business. And now my son and lady is 22. He's going to be 23 this April.
Okay. Oh, my gosh, look at that. You're not that old. You're not old enough to have a kid that old. You don't look that old, my dear. Let me just say that much. I've seen you, so I know that. This is for sure. I wanted to ask you, did you have actual formalized training as far as relative to acting?
No. And it's very common a lot of times in Hollywood is that people will get the opportunity and they start asking questions.
Okay.
And I think, in our discussion there, I said, for this opportunity that came up to me and being Mr. Adventurous and always going for things, I reached out to people, and when I had met Emilio and he gave me the ultimate compliment of saying, you've got the look, you're a Mayan. I was just like, oh, yeah, doing the Michael Jackson, walking backwards, doing the moonwalk,
sure.
Everything up when I got the call, especially. And, so when I got on there, I met Aldo Gonzalez, who you've had the pleasure of meeting and speaking to.
Yes.
He is my other mentor.
Okay.
Just pointing the right direction. Because sometimes some people can be very, I don't want to share information. And Aldo and Emilio were just awesome. And if I had ever had a question, because I was getting opportunities because of Sons, speaking roles. As a matter of fact, a really small one in Tough Chuck, and then Kill Kapone. I have 2 full scenes in there, actually doing a drug deal. And so I would go, hey, Emilio, bro, I got this thing coming up, man. I got to do a reading. I don't know what to do.
Sure.
Yeah, and Emilio would look at me and says, don't worry about it, brother. Just relax. Be you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's really cool. Had acting always been, was it always your intention to pursue that line of work as far as acting? Like when you were a kid, were you thinking, yeah, this is something I want to get into, or was this totally out of the blue?
For me it was the dancing because, again, I was like, me and my partner, Chris Campos, we were the first Latinos on Soul Train when it was a very, very close, segregated type, dance show. And we were the very first ones back in the early 80s, I want to say. And we were, like I said, I did some work with Lionel Richie, the DeBarge family, and I almost went on tour with Lionel Richie on the Penny Lover tour. I did the closing ceremonies in 1984 at the LA Coliseum when Lionel Richie closed did the closing ceremonies. And it was the all-night-long show. And I was working with people that worked with Michael Jackson. I was very close friends with Michael Del Lorenzo. He was on Fame, the original movie and the TV show Fame.
Okay.
And head of the class. And so, I would get these little things and tidbits from them, and I was kind of going in that direction. But, I didn't have the monies to continue studies at Dupree in L.A., which was a professional dance studio. And, kind of put the investment needed in headshots and, everything that it takes to get in there with an agent and lions and tigers and bears, right?
Right.
So, and again, I had my son, and life took me where, the road of being a responsible adult.
Gotcha. Now, as a young child and maybe even further on as you went along, were you surrounded by individuals that encouraged your passions and your drive and said, hey, this is something you should really chase after?
Yes. Actually, yes. It was very supportive because they saw the talent, what I was doing. And again, I think the personality had a lot to do with it, too. This personality I keep hearing about that, I keep going, huh, me?
Really?
I've had that with Aldo because I said, dude, I'm just so drawn to you, and he goes, why? And I said, because you're you, man, It's like, ever speaking to Emilio Rivera, it's the same thing, behind the scenes. He's a riot, It's just fun. I've
actually heard that before, too, from other people, that Aldo is quite humorous, actually, and he was so very calm and very cool when he was doing his interview, and I thought, oh my gosh, he sounds like such a professional person. He's really amazing, actually. I give kudos to him. He's got an amazing backstory as far as, where he came up and how he came up and where he is right now, and kudos to him, of course. I wish amazing success. I'm actually going to watch Anger Management for the first time tonight just because of him. So I'm like, Aldo, just for you, I'm going to watch this show because I wasn't really a Charlie Sheen fan. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. Now, I know you had touched on this a little bit ago, obviously, that Emilio Rivera. I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but you actually had indicated to me you met him through your motorcycle club. Is that correct?
Yes, it was a previous one. It was a different club that I was with for a bit, and we put together an extremely huge car show, and it was out in Pomona, and we were aggressively trying to get Emilio Rivera there because of there's a lot of primarily Latino bikers in the San Gabriel Valley down in Southern California, and we were able to make contact with Emilio, and we talked, and I talked to him on the phone, and at first it was like, no, and then came back around, and he says, well, I could, sign autographs for my books. Came back, and he says, you know what, this is for a good cause, because it was for the Boys and Girls Club. And he says, I'll do it. Because he just said, we don't have the money for this. We're barely putting this together here. And, he thought about it and came back at me, and you know what, I'm going to do it. And I made sure I took care of him. I made a deal with Giant RV, a big RV company. It had a fireplace in it, flat screen TV, and they donated it, and I used that as hospitality for Emilio Rivera and his wife Yadi. And this way, when they were able to take a break from signing autographs, which was only one, because they were just surrounded. I mean, it was packed. And took a break, and we're sitting inside the rig, and that's when he asked me, he said, "Hey, are your bars up?" And I said, "Yep." You got the look.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, he put me in contact with the right people, and I did. I got the call, and I was waiting because I was like, nah, I'm not going to get that call. I was like, yeah, right. So he said, 2 weeks. Or no, I'm sorry, 4 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to get a call. So I'm like, yeah, right, we'll see. It's the same token, on the back of my mind, will I? And then 2 weeks later, I saw him at a Harley-Davidson dealer, not too far from where he lives, and saw him again, and, hey, man, he gives me a hug and whispers in my ear a couple weeks ago. I was like, cool. And again, I'm not trying to get my hopes up too high, and I'm just like sweating it, right? So now we're in that 5th week, and the phone rings, and I run. and the gentleman that takes care of all background gives me a call. I mean, he's the one that answers the phone and says, "Is this Eddie?" And I said, "Yes, it is." "This is Jim from SOA." And I was like, yes. I mean, I'm just like percolating like an old coffee pot, It's just
right.
Bloop, 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 bloop. And I said, "Understand you're going to be working with us." And I said, "Yes, sir. And you're giving me the whole lowdown, wear these, wear jeans, do this, do that. And right away I texted Amigo and just, thank you. And like I said, I was doing the Michael Jackson upstairs. I was doing the moonwalk. I was, doing the Cabbage Patch. I was doing every the Running Man and the SpongeBob,
right.
You name it.
Sure.
I was doing it.
I'm back.
Yeah, that was so, and it just kind of took off from there.
I kind of figured that. Now, I wanted to ask you, had you previously been a fan of the show prior to coming onto it?
Absolutely. Being a motorcyclist, I'm an original owner of my bike. My bike's a 1990 Softail Custom. If you watch the scene where Emilio got shot in season 4, if you look in the background, when he falls, there's 2 bikes there. There's a black one and then the blue one with the silver flames. And when the drugs arrive, I think it was called Brick, the 18-wheeler arrives, and the Mayans are waiting for the Sons. And you can see my bike, and I'm standing there next to Ted. That was that definitely was a really, really good time that day.
I believe it.
Really good day.
Now, had you ever envisioned yourself becoming part of such a high-profile production?
That is a negative.
Really? Really?
Yeah, it's like you don't envision it, but like going back to the question, the first one is like, did you ever want to be on the show? Were you a fan of the show? Yes, it was, and all I could say was, wow, I want to be on that show. I want to be a Mayan, being Latino, and I said, I want my bike on the show. That would be so cool. And that was season 1, so 3 seasons later, at the end of it, that's when we met, and wow, that's all I can say. My bike,
oh my God.
I think my bike's value just went up 3 times.
That is awesome, though. That is totally cool, man, because not everybody can say that, obviously. And, of course, most people that are already listening and watch the show, obviously, you play one of the featured Mayans on Sons of Anarchy, of course. Maybe enlighten the audience as to what preparation, if any, you did to play the role that you did.
Well, the nice thing is growing up in the neighborhood and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of, Ted and Pancho and Aldo, myself, actually quite a bit, Isaac. We come from different parts of the neighborhood, different barrios and different neighborhoods. And so that look is our look. And so acting the part, it's very natural. It's basically being yourself, just a different color bandana. I wear a blue one and usually a black one.
Okay.
This time I was wearing a green one.
That. So it's a bit of a change, but yet it almost is as if you can kind of mold right into the role, obviously, because like you're saying, you've got that backup already available for you. Did it prove to be a challenging experience on any level for you?
Not for Sons. Not for Sons. I'll tell you where the challenge is, and it came after Sons, was these new opportunities where you're going to speak. Oh boy, whole new ballpark.
Sure.
Because, the cameras are set up around the main cast. So when you're the one, they're setting up the cameras. They're saying, stand right here, and they're adjusting the lighting, the camera, and getting everything set. And then we're doing a walkthrough, and you're actually working directly with the director. Mm-hmm. With background, well, it's a little more, you guys come in this way, you do this, it's more in general. But when you're it, and it's about you, and your scene, it's you and the director working, which I thought was so cool because it felt like 2 steps forward, right?
Right, of course.
And then now you're going to say something. So now you're practicing in your room the line 10 different ways. Does it hurt? Does it hurt? Does it hurt, son? You're doing all these things with these facial expressions, or you're doing it right. You tell me it really hurts. It's just watching talent like Charlie Hunnam to turn it on and off. All of them.
Right.
I mean, everybody. I was really amazed. Again, I go back to Aldo because these guys are already stars. Aldo is the shooting star climbing up the ranks, and the night he died on SOA, mm-hmm. It was so good that everybody applauded him. Everybody. The cast. I mean, he just really laid it out there, and I'm saying, this is talent. I mean, wow. I mean, you don't think about these things when you're watching TV.
Of course not. Definitely. That begs to ask the question, actually. Did you find yourself intimidated at all being surrounded by such seasoned veteran actors?
No. Really? I could understand that, but it was more of a drive, and plus they encourage you. It's not like they're laughing at you. They're not looking down at you. Right. I mean, Charlie is so cool. He actually made really good friends with all of us. And and again, like, I can't remember which scene that was, but it was in East L.A. Matter of fact, the picture you have up where I'm holding my vest and the graffiti's in the background.
Right.
In that warehouse. And we were all set up, and they called out. Charlie was running behind, so the walkie-talkies were flying. And then Charlie comes running, and he was heading to his spot, and he happened to see me from the right of his eye, and he stopped. And he turned, and with a big smile that he has, he nods his head, and, what's up, dude? He ran over to me and just shook my hand, and then he goes, I gotta go. So there's to stop and go out of your way and just say, hey, it's very genuine.
Okay. And that's actually probably the best way to go, especially if you're an individual who hasn't been out and about and acting for as many years as like Ron Perlman, let's say. It's so cool to be in that environment and have them just cheer you along and be in your corner. That's amazing. I think that's wonderful. And it speaks to them, of course, too. Did you find any upside or a downside to the set as far as with Sons of Anarchy? Because I know Ted had mentioned this, just security on the set and it just being so tight-lipped as far as that goes. Is there any drawback to being on a set like that?
No. Actually, you know what? I really prefer it. Because, again, when I show up, we showed up on season 4, and it being new for us, and being a 2.1, what they call an FX 2.1, I mean, it's like it's the highest budget per episode shows there is.
Right.
I guess you would have to expect that, and then the level of talent that's there, and then understanding that they don't want the cat out of the bag. I mean, that's that whole term spoilers. It's like, you really, really would like to have a surprise birthday party for your husband. Please don't tell him, and then the spoiler's out.
Right. I hear you.
So, nobody wants to. I can totally understand that, because from what I understand, I believe first season it was kind of an open set.
Okay.
People can stand on the side, and then and the leaks were out. Pictures were coming out, and they just.
Of course.
So,
and especially with a show like this, obviously we've all watched this last season unfold here, and a lot of drama, a lot of twists, a lot of turns, unexpected things going on there. So I imagine he doesn't want one element of that getting out anywhere.
oh, you know, I'll share a joke with you behind the scenes.
Oh my God, this is awesome! Yes, do it.
Always the joke is which Mayan's going to die today. Because they know if
are you serious?
You can't come back. So,
really?
Yeah, because, you know, it was like, and, you know, Kurt being Kurt, you know, he's just full of surprises. You know, he's just one of the greatest storytellers there are. So, you know, the joke behind the scene is it's kind of like, you know, if you have a speaking part as a Mayan, it's somewhere down the line you're gone. You know, so like, you know, Aldo and Jesse, you know, they had these parts, and they were like, okay, we just wonder how many episodes they got, you know. And for all this background, it could just be at random, because the guy could just come up to you, and if it looks right, he might just say, you know what I want you to fall down right here. And we're like, and I want you to fall, you know. So, again, it goes back to season 4, and Emilio was the day Emilio got shot. We were packing the tortillas with drugs and everything at the Mayan compound. And
right.
The gate scene, okay, and Ponch was on the outside, like the security. I was one of the guys that opened up the gate.
Oh.
So they were saying that the car's going to crash through a little bit later and break down, and then guns were going to be, you know, blazing. And they asked me to go stand next to the gate, because he looked around at us and he says, you, go for it, Eddie, you know, we're down there. Yeah, you'll be one of the guys on the gate, and the other guy's going to be the stuck guy.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, and everybody was like, dun, 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 dun.
Right.
It was great.
Oh, I imagine so. Did you find that you were able to take certain elements of this particular role with you to other projects?
Absolutely.
And that would be what exactly?
Tough Chuck. Tough Chuck is, I don't know if anybody shared this with you. I kind of learned this, how do I say that? You know, the film schools that are out there. Chapman School of Arts. There's another one in Hollywood, a really good one in Hollywood. If you want to be a producer, you want to be a grip, you want to be an AD, you want to be, you know, whatever it is, a writer, a director, producer, you go to school. Well, supposed to go to school. And in order to graduate, you have a thesis. But your thesis is a film. So when you graduate, they divide up the graduating class, all the, you know, like I'm saying, the directors, the producers, you know, the grips, the sound, the editors, everything, the whole team,
right.
The grips and everything. They divide them up, and they're all handed X number of dollars. I'm talking like 10, 15, 20,000, whatever. And they have to make a short movie. So like writing a letter, you got to have your opening statement, the body, and then the closing, right?
Correct.
So you, as a student, your team, the students to graduate, that is your thesis to finish up. You got to make a movie. So a lot of times they grab actors through the network. And Lonnie Lasan, who is Emilio's right-hand man on Sons of Anarchy, good friend of mine, excellent man. We got picked up, and one other guy who was one of the cartel, we got picked up on this project. So, and it was all action. It was all actually. I had 2 parts. Lonnie had 1. We both had speaking parts. Mine was very little. Lonnie had a really, really good part, and I have an axe. The picture where I'm laying in the blood, and I get killed. Actually, I get killed twice because I had 2 parts.
Okay.
So we brought that same element. We brought our bikes, so we were bikers. We put scars on our face, and we were doing the Latino biker thing. So it was an even slide over. Same thing with Kill Kapone.
Gotcha. I was just going to say we're leading right up to that, actually. To those that don't know this, obviously, Kill Kapone is basically one gang member's journey through L.A. by being chased by his own gang. And then I know additionally you had done further acting experience on the series Chosen. So I've got 2 questions there. Did you harbor any apprehension about accepting that particular film role, meaning that you had a concern that you're going to be constantly typecast as a biker?
Well, because you're just getting into the game? No.
Okay.
But now that we're going on and talking to the people I'm talking to, I would love to try even, just a a detective thing. Maybe I'm the sidekick. Or
Okay.
I would love to do like a undercover cop.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of scar it up, kind of have that look and maybe being undercover on the street, or the dealer or something, because the gang members of today are more of the bald heads, tatted everywhere, the face, everything.
Correct.
I'm not doing that unless they paint it on me.
Okay.
But a lot of the ones you see is the real deal.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. It's the more hardcore, the more on the street. I'm that crazy. So they want to put that on film out here in LA because people are looking for reality, like Training Day.
Right. Excellent movie, by the way.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, the table scene where one of the gang members tells, I can't remember the actor's name, the young rookie cop.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke. There you go. Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy looks at him and says, "Hey, I already seen his gun. I want to see your gun. Come on, let me see your gun."
Mm-hmm.
His name is Noe G. We call him Noel G. He's in Chosen. He's in Kill Kapone. He's in a lot of things. As a matter of fact, we have a drug deal together in Kill Kapone. And in Chosen, he's like our leader of the gang that I'm with. But going back to what I was saying, for my age, I'm more what they call a veteran, in Spanish, a veterano.
Okay.
Like Emilio. Emilio's a veterano. He's got the slick back hair. He's got the, what they call, the brush mustache. That is the gangster of before. So it's hard to have me in that mix unless I'm playing somebody's dad, maybe, uncle, older cousin, older brother. So yeah, I'd like to try some other things. I definitely would.
Yeah, because just looking at you, the first thing I was thinking of course, is, oh, man, he can be such a badass. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't enjoy seeing you in another role, per se. Obviously, I'm just used to seeing that. So it would be kind of interesting to see you do comedic or maybe some kind of drama. I think would be kind of cool. Switching gears here a second, because I know obviously Chosen will be different. Can you tell me, in your own mind that is, performing in a TV series varies compared to a film. How does it vary for you?
Film, wow, that's a good question. But there is a difference. Yeah, absolutely. They're both cool. But Sons is awesome.
Of course.
It's all about the budget. Whoever got the bigger budget and the bigger audience, the cooler it gets.
I bet.
So, I can only imagine. I wish I could see life through Emilio Rivera's eyes, because he's been in Spider-Man. He's been in, was it Air Force? Not Air Force One. The other one where the convicts are. Air Con with Nicolas Cage.
Air Con.
He's been on so many movies, major movies.
Mm-hmm.
And to be on those type of sets around those type of people, I guess the closest thing to being at that would be Sons, because it's just such an all-star event, this whole production. So in a movie, I haven't had the pleasure of being on something that big. So,
but it's kind of cool to be where you are at right now, though, because you are, like you're mentioning, a veteran, and you are coming up and doing various different things, which is cool. And Emilio hasn't been on Sam Crow Radio yet, and you have. So kudos to you. Thank you. Just throwing that out there.
Again, I'll definitely give those kudos to him, because if it wasn't for him giving them up, I wouldn't be here today with you.
Oh, exactly. And that is just it. I think that he is just amazing as well. And like you're mentioning, he gets into another realm because he's dealing with different actors, different scenarios. That's obviously different. Do you think the set's a little bit different? Do they handle things differently production-wise as far as with film as compared to television?
Well, you go... Again, it's about the budget.
Okay.
they operate on multiple cameras, big film, multiple cameras, lower budget, couple cameras. You got to film front, you got to film from the back, you got to film from the angle, then you got to come back with the sound, and the experience is neat because you're learning all the terminology. Doing wild lines after, if they're not sure they got your voice, then they drop the speaker and you just sit there and you repeat your lines, and then they're going to drop them in and edit it in. The whole process is just amazing.
I believe it. I do. I believe it, especially to somebody first coming in and walking in and looking at all this. I would be like, oh, my God, this is cool as hell,
On Sons, blood, stage blood comes in. They bring in, big old containers of it. And then when I did Tough Chuck and I had to lay in blood for 4 hours, 5 hours in the middle of the night on concrete, the guy forgot the blood, but he knew how to make some. That you'll find interesting. It was dishwashing soap, and it had a grapefruit smell to it, and then he squeezed in a little bit of dye, and there was some Hershey's chocolate, and then there was peanut butter. They heat it up over a toaster to give it some body, and they stir all this stuff together. And again, if you see the pictures on my Facebook, you'll see me laying in that blood. That blood looks very real, but it was a concoction, and it smelled really good. I was ready to lick my shoulders.
Oh, my God, really? That is wild, isn't it? That's amazing how they can just come up with this stuff on a whim, like, we don't have this, so we have to come up with this instead. You know what I mean?
I watched them make a plastic gun, a PVC pipe, and they poured some of that blood in it, and they attached the bicycle pump, and they pumped it up to make the pressure. And see, where I die in that movie, there's a loud scream where, Chuck took away my axe, and then he basically gave it right back to me in my back. You see the blood squirt against the wall, and it was that gun. They went, and it just splats. And the guy made it.
Oh, my God, amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Wow. That's Hollywood, isn't it, though? It's like, that is so cool. Because you couldn't do that at home, right? I couldn't just sit here and be like, let me see. What can I make a gun with?
I struggle with toast right now.
Really? Oh, I bet. Duh, let's think about that a minute. Okay. All right, my dear, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start to take telephone calls, and then as they get a little bit slower, I have a couple more questions for you. So this poor patient woman has been waiting for, forever on the line. So I'm going to let her come on, and then we'll see how the phone lines go, if that's okay with you.
Very good.
Okay, just 1 second. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Who am I talking to?
Hi, Cindy. This is Michelle.
Hey, Michelle Williamson?
Yes.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, my goodness. And Eddie, you can hear, right?
Yes, my girl Michelle. How are you?
Hi, Pinocchio.
Hello. How you doing, young
She was
lady?
telling me about this. Oh, my gosh. She was telling me about this before we got on air, so I was excited. I'm like, I hope she gets in so she can say something. So, Michelle, you have the floor to say whatever you want to say.
Oh, yeah. It's just a comical post he did on Facebook with his little Pinocchio shorts. But anyway.
Yeah. Those were some neat little boxers, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
I did not get to see these boxers, so this begs to ask the question. So what's the deal with the boxers?
Well, there's a picture I saw on Facebook, so I had to take it and I reposted it, and everybody loved it. And what it was a big pair of white boxers, and starting at the top of the waist all the way down to the bottom trim of the boxers, on the very front and the center is a picture of Pinocchio. And Pinocchio's nose the nose isn't on him, but it's right over the fly.
I can still picture this. Oh, my God.
So basically, and I think I wrote on there, can I tell you a lie? So, what happens when Pinocchio lies, his nose grows.
Oh, my God. And grows and grows and grows and grows.
Yes.
Yeah, I got that. Okay.
But everybody really got a kick out of that one.
I wish I would have
think
seen
it was more like giving Pinocchio a kiss or something in that area.
That's right.
Oh, my God. Now it's getting X-rated on the show. Nice. Lovely. We're going to dirt now. This is great.
Yeah,
Pro radio porn.
On my page, I tend to have a little bit of fun here and there.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Sometimes you got to get a little dirty. I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
Now, Michelle, I'm sure you're going to come up with a much better question than I've given him somewhere. Is there anything you want to ask the young man?
Yes, I have 2 questions. They're probably pretty short, so I don't take up all the time. My first question is, of course, related to Sons of Anarchy. Who would you find to be the most comical, besides Dayton, that you worked with?
I still kind of want to go. I want to go with Emilio because Emilio was a stand-up comic. Guys thought they're all crazy, but Emilio was a stand-up comic. So when you have a comedian, a professional comedian, and guys from the neighborhood around on top of it, and it's a wild ride. I mean, your sides will hurt, and people are looking at us because you guys are having too much fun over here. So I'd run with Emilio Rivera.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, my next question is, what could you say or express to us how you felt or what was running through your mind the first time you met Kurt and Katie?
I'm sorry, but I have not met Kurt or Katie.
Oh, you have not?
No.
You're kidding me.
No, I didn't get the pleasure I could definitely say, like Aldo and Jesse, and again, because they got to go to other sets, the actual sets, like the garage, the hospitals, me in the hospital, those crisscross, in the writing, where Ted and myself, the featured Mayans were out on the field, so we were on set whenever they were out on the road, and when the deals were going down, where the drugs were stayed at, the Mayan compound, of course, because that was our place. So I was always in those desert scenes, the meeting scenes on the outside. Like this past season, Ted was at the ocean with Lonnie and Emilio. So we've always had to be the ones out on the streets, and it was rare for Katie to be out there. And
I understand.
That time of the season too, Kurt's still, he's going. From what I hear, he's still busy writing and adjusting and twisting and doing what he does best.
Right.
His storytelling.
Okay, well,
I'm
thank
surprised.
you so much.
Thank you, Michelle, for calling in, and thank you for waiting so long, honey. I'm so sorry it took us a while to get to you, but we did get to you.
Hey, thank you, Michelle. Hey, it's good to hear your voice for the first time.
Yeah, it's put a voice to the face, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And she's got a beautiful face to her, too. Let me just say that much. This girl's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And, Eddie, I know you go through some difficult times, but from my group, we're all sending you and your family some prayers of strength. And thank you so much for talking. Sure.
Big hug to you.
Okay, thank you.
Take care, Michelle.
All right, sweetheart, you take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, my dear, let's get to another phone call because you got another holding, of course, because you're so popular. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, who am I talking to?
Mouse of the South, Cindy.
Hi.
It's Carlin.
I kind of figured it was Carlin, but I just wanted to double check. Do you know Eddie Carlin?
I do not, but I've seen him on Sons, and I watched the trailer with Kill Kapone, and I cannot wait. When will it be coming out?
It's supposed to be out by this summer, and they are posting announcements on Facebook on the Kill Kapone page. And that one, they don't have a release date, but they're saying by summer. So I'm
that is
really
on my
excited.
top of my list. It really looks good.
Yeah, it's.
What kind of questions first?
Sure.
Oh no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I heard that you do charities.
Yes.
You do a lot of charity work. I do a lot of charity work for cancer patients.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you could give any kind of tip to anyone wanting to do a charity event. What would be your most? What is your? What am I trying to say here? What would you do?
That's more effective.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
What seems to be the most effective form of.
If you've got a strong, following with friends, raffle tickets are good. A lot of times you can get companies, when you explain the urgency or the situation, the seriousness of it, a lot of times people will give you a gift to use in the raffle, and then you can make a raffle ticket. You can get those anywhere, Staples. You can have them printed anywhere, and you go out and sell them, and then you give the award away. You can get an iPod or iTouch. You can get gifts from different places, T-shirts, things of that nature, and you give booklets out to your team, and they go out and they do that. And that's a real quick, effective, very effective way, because you're selling to the people around you, your friends, and you're coming through with a prize. So that is one. Out here in LA, I'm lucky because I have Universal Studios, I've got Disneyland, I've got Knott's Berry Farm, I've got Medieval Times, I've got restaurants near the beach, on the beach, Malibu Beach. It goes on, restaurants in Hollywood. For me, it's really easy because, and then the fact that I am on Sons of Anarchy, or I'm in other movies, so that it really has helped. But that is a good way of doing it. That seems to be a really quick way of doing it. And just make sure, the person gets the prize, and if you can tie it into maybe an event, a chili cook-off, where you all come up and you're going to have this little chili cook-off or something at the park, and then you announce the prize there. You kind of tie it all together because everybody buys a bowl of chili and whatnot, or hot dogs, and then the profits go toward that charity.
Okay,
that's really good. That is really good, actually. Or you call Eddie and you just say, please, will you come and show up? Just a thought.
Hey, Eddie, you want to come to our benefit this Sunday?
Throwing it out there.
Hey,
That's funny. There's a bittersweet run in Ohio. Ohio. It's going to be in September. I am going to be going there.
Okay, well, I'm in Tennessee, so you can just drop by and see us. I'm just kidding.
Right.
No, we would love to have you if it was possible, but anyway.
Well, you get near there, you just give me a call.
Okay. Well, you have a good night. Thanks.
You take care now.
All right, darling. Thank you so much.
Bye, Cindy.
All right, dear. All right, and then on to our next one, dear. Hello? Hello? Okay. You still with me, dear?
I'm here.
Okay. I'm just double checking. It looks like whoever it was that was on the line isn't on the line anymore. Okay. Since I don't have another caller on here, I wanted to ask you another question, if that would be all right with you.
Yes.
Obviously, of course, we all know that you are a husband and a father, and obviously you have an acting career. Yet, obviously, as Carolyn was just managing to say, that obviously you're in different sets. Let's try that again. You're involved in various charities of your own choosing. I'm interested to maybe ask you which philanthropic organizations that you support and the types of events that you participate in.
I tend to favor. I'm the oddball. I'm always trying to do the different thing. The big organizations that you're used to hearing, like Marching Dimes and things like that. They're big. They get corporate contributions, and I know they can always use more. But I think they get the help they need. I tend to focus more on the ones that are starting, that have a good story. They don't even have to be a nonprofit. I'm a fan of, out here in LA, and there's not a lot of these, but there's the Autism Youth League, the Autism Sports Youth League. And my niece, she's autistic. Love her to death, little Mia. Hey, Mia. What they do, it's nothing but sports. Nothing but sports, because kids with autism in the spectrum cannot be in a regular program, like Little League. And what they have is like Little League, football, basketball, soccer, and bowling. Yeah, and the football's flag. And it gives a chance, too, for the parents to kind of hang out. They network. but the kids are actually, they're doing it. They're doing it, and it was said that they couldn't do it. And this organization is doing it. They're small, so I support that. They're trying to do something different. And in another way, it's more of an individual situation because I think we all know insurances are kind of hard to deal with sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see something that's real, it's usually through somebody we know, a friend of a friend's wife, a friend of a friend has passed, and insurance companies are not coming through all the way. We reach out to the network, and we get together, and we do something about it.
Gotcha.
I have one more, and this one's new, and it's a buddy of mine, a new friend of mine named Isaac from Operation Homeless. You can look them up on YouTube. YouTube, Operation Homeless, and this young man out of his garage puts together bags for homeless people. So toothpaste, toothbrushes, little bars of soap, a little washcloth. He puts them in a bag. He goes down to Skid Row in downtown LA, wakes them up when they're sleeping on the street, and hands them a bag.
Huh.
Doesn't really care about having money. He says, if you just donate the toothpaste, donate the washcloth, things of that thing, so he can put these bags together. That's his focus. And my club is looking to generate funds so we can bring in a carton of socks, and I don't mean a carton, I mean those cartons, like an 18-wheeler of socks for him to, give socks to people out there in that little goodie bag. So,
that's amazing.
He's just he's an amazing guy in the things that he's doing.
Wow. Operation Homeless, you said, right? That's on YouTube, just to reiterate?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure of that. Now, I have an individual here who is actually listening in, and she doesn't have time to call in, but I have a question for you for her, if that's all right.
Sure.
First of all, she wanted to say that she wanted me to tell you that all the charity work that you've done and the time that you've spent in the SOA Crow Raiders group has been greatly appreciated. So she wanted you to know that. You're just an absolutely wonderful man. But I'd say the same thing myself. Her question, she wants to know where do you have your apparel line? Meaning, is it only online, or will you be doing like bi-coastal? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's new technology, and basically it looks like a printer, like you have next to your computer, but it's super sized. It's monsters. My brother's a master sergeant in the military, he's Army, and we both dropped the investment in this new technology. Before, you had to output film, you had to make screens, there's chemicals, there's all this inventory of ink. Well, this printer has ink cartridges like our printers, but big ones, and we pop them in, and it prints white ink, and it comes straight from a file, and then we heat press, and it's done. It's pretty amazing. We're 6 months into this, and we're already, learning it, getting, finding all the ins and outs of it. It is amazing. Upgrades are being constantly added to it because it is new technology. So even the people that manufacture the machine are also making adjustments, and it's just really phenomenal. I mean, you give me a file, JPEG, I can output a shirt in 5 minutes.
Wow.
And just one. Yeah, with white ink, ready to go.
Okay.
So the nice thing is I'm set up with UPS now. I got PayPal set up. We got the bags in, and we will be accepting files. We can, there's a picture of you and your dog, or a picture of you and your bike, a picture of just your bike or your car. I can print it and send it to you without all those setup fees, and without the film, and without the chemicals, and without any of that stuff. It's zero VOCs, so there's nothing going into the air harmful. It's go green as you can get. And on Facebook, you can find image 1, space media, and you'll find it on Facebook and on the internet, image1media.com.
And of course, it sounds like it'll be more cost efficient for the average person to utilize something like this.
Oh, yeah, especially for startups. You know, a new company, I'm going to start a new company, a home-based company. I own like 5 shirts, 10 shirts. Hey, well, okay, here you go.
That's amazing to me. Wow. Technology's really gotten out there, hasn't it? It's like, wow. I can't even believe how amazing this stuff is. It's cool. All right, I got another question for you. So we wait here for another caller who may or may not come. I'm curious, looking down the pike for you, I know that you told me you were currently pursuing roles in, there's some new movies that are being released through Lionsgate Productions. If you could maybe highlight, if you can talk about them, what types of roles these pictures would offer you, as well as what enticed you into pursuing them in the first place.
Well, I was on Kill Kapone, and I was able to get my whole group on there. So the nice thing is you're going to see my patch.
Ooh.
So that's huge for us. That's just kind of like, you know, I feel like a rooster, you know, fluffing up my chest right now and scratching the floor. Our club's on a movie. But what's nice is, again, when you're on set, you meet people that are working on other projects. So Mr. Andy Rodriguez was one of the co-producers of Kill Kapone, and along with who else was there? There was quite a few actors, but a lot of ones from AMC, Breaking Bad, background guys, you know, Latino guys, and just a boatload of gangsters in this movie. And Danny La Paz from American Me, he's kind of like an icon in not kind of, he is an icon in the Latino film community. He's just been in a slew of movies back in the day, and you know, still doing his thing. If you watch the trailer, he's the one narrating the trailer on Kill Kapone. He's just a class act. He's a really good guy. But that's where Andy Rodriguez, whoever we were talking, and he said, you know, you did really good. You guys look good. I got another movie that just came out called Bro with Danny Trejo, and it's out right now. You can rent it on your cable, or you can go to Redbox, or you know, wherever you get it. It's out right now, and Andy Rodriguez was one of the producers on that. And he says, I got a couple more things happening through Lionsgate, and I want you on them. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing the Michael Jackson again.
You do that a lot, don't you? You get that little happy dance thing going on, like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I was doing the hee-hee and, you know, the little spin and the whole 9 yards. And he says, this time you're not just doing 2 scenes like we did in Kill Kapone. He says, we're gonna get you a part. And so you'll be throughout the movie. And Danny says, and I've got 3 movies lined up. And I guess the deal that he has is, as long as each one keeps producing funds, they're going to make one right after the other and after the other. So he says he knows for sure 2 of them are getting done this year. But I'm going to be involved across the board. I also, you know what I didn't share with you? Again, you can see it on YouTube. I'm a chief associate producer on the Red Canvas. Actually, we changed the name now. It's called Submission, the movie. Okay. And it's a mixed martial art film, and we filmed in Vegas. We shut down the Vegas Strip. We filmed at Tap Out. Bing Reams we had as one of our lead actors. A lot of mixed martial art fighters. It's a really neat. It's a neat picture. We're just still trying to get it picked up right now, but that's a good one. That one, I was really proud of that project.
Now, is that something you recently did, or that was done a while ago, and it's accessible to people now?
You know, it was actually 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. It is done. We did have it picked up with a distributor, but that fell through. Politics. So we had to do a little waiting game, and legally we got it back. And so now we're shopping it again and trying to find, the best buyer and the best bang for the buck.
I gotcha. And I know that process can be arduous. I was just talking to a friend of mine who's an actress, and they had the same kind of situation where they're trying to get it out there, and it's tough. It's really hard. There's a lot of great productions that are made that people don't ever get to see because nobody wants to buy them, or they can't get them out there. It's immensely frustrating.
Yeah, they get shelved. You know, the politics are huge on that side of the movie world. You know, not acting, not being a producer behind the camera. I'm talking the business part of it. It's brutal.
I imagine so, definitely. I've heard that one before, too, actually. I'm curious to also ask you, because obviously we don't live with Eddie. Your wife does, fortunate woman. So let's ask Eddie. You get up in the morning. What's a typical actor's day? What do you do? Is there a typical actor's day for you?
No.
Okay.
Because I do hold a regular job.
Okay.
I do have a regular job. I do have a career, and that's even outside of the T-shirt bit and outside of running a club and the acting thing. Like I said, just kind of fell in my lap, and now it's kind of snowballing a little bit. Opportunities are showing up, and again, like I said, I can hug Emilio Rivera. You know, just dude. It almost feels like somebody puts their hand on you. You're now blessed.
That's amazing. You know, I got to ask this question because I know that you've referenced him, you know, a number of times, obviously, and I haven't had the pleasure of getting a chance to talk to him or actually physically meet him. So tell us about Emilio a little bit. What can you share about him, per se, that we just wouldn't guess, wouldn't know about him? What kind of person or individual is he?
I would kind of sum him up. Well, I don't even have a word. It's a lot of words. Emilio grew up in the neighborhood. I raised my son in the same neighborhood where he grew up. I actually grew up in a neighboring neighborhood. You know, they're all barrios from LA. Mm-hmm. So, and we all ran the streets. And you know, Emilio's older than I am, and you know, he's everybody's had their struggles. You know, getting to where they're going to be, and you know, being around him, he's very encouraging. He's never negative. He is always do it. Just I mean, you know how he dips his head and has that grin, and he's got that little smile to the side, and he'll dip his head to the left a little bit and go, do it. You can do it. You can do it. Hmm. And it's the way he delivers it is, you're like, really? You feel it. I can. Always there. You ask him for an autograph, not a problem. I'm down at his mother's house, and little kids will walk by, and the father will be there, and they're waving, hi, Mr. Rivera, and then wait, and he'll run inside the house, and he'll come out and give him a picture, autograph, and take pictures with them, and then the family's awesome. Him and his wife Yadi, little Rocco, his son, just really, really, really good people.
That's awesome. It really is. I'm hoping to get an opportunity to talk to him at some point in time because I think that would be lovely. I think he's very seasoned and very good at his craft. I think he would make for an amazing interview, of course, as did you, my dear. I have one final question for you, and then I guess I'll let you off the hook because you've been so kind to me, spending a whole hour with me. This is my question for you. If the average individual, let's say those of us who are listening to you right now or happen to be out in the California area, how do we get a chance to walk up to Eddie and meet him face-to-face?
Well, leave me a message on Facebook. Let me know you're in L.A.
Really? Okay, I wasn't sure if you had, structured events, something upcoming that we could look forward to or participate in or contribute.
It's just such a lot of it wings, it's like the fundraiser I have here for my little brother, Chaguito. We got one tomorrow. My good brother here lost his wife to cancer, and, we're helping him out and making sure he, stays on his feet, and so sometimes things like that will present itself, and then the very next month there's not a big warning there. I'll get a phone call, they'll say, hey, Dead Punch, ask the guys, can you guys show up over here? And, yeah, throw on our little Mayan t-shirts and there we go. And then, somewhere over here, and, there's a lot of networking. So, a lot of this is last minute. It almost feels like, when you're getting called and, oh, hey, tomorrow you're on at 10. We need you for 3 days. You get up there, oh, you know what, no, we only need you for 2 days. It's very, very, very random. So, a lot of times, somebody will send me a message and say, hey, man, hey, Hollywood, I'm going to be in L.A. for a week. Maybe we get together, right? And I said, when you get here, let me know. I don't know if you've met Darlene Butler.
No, not yet.
I think she's on the list. She's in charge of the Grim Bastards fan page, the Mayans fan page.
I'm trying to think.
And she just took them down, and she started a new one that encompasses the whole SOA. She came out and her husband from Georgia, and we all hooked up with her. I mean, everybody did. Ted had her one night. I had her one full day. We were taking pictures. I mean, she got treated like a queen. She was there for the softball game with Sons of Anarchy last summer. So yeah, it's you come on out and let me know, and sometimes I will show up with 2 or 3 of the Mayans, or I'll show up maybe with Matt and Froy from Repo Man. I've become very good friends with Matt.
Or when I come to California and I call Ted and I say, hey, Ted, I'm here, and he meets me, then he can just call you and say, hey, then I could just meet all of you at once, you, Aldo, and him, all at the same time. That'd be cool for me. I'd love that. Thanks so much. That would be great. If you could spare the time, of course, because I know you're a busy fellow. Because what can I say? Now, the only thing I'd like to ask you is the most obvious question. I am going to the motorcycle show, and I know that Theo Rossi and Tommy Flanagan are going to be there this coming weekend in Chicago, in St. Charles, Illinois, actually. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
If I get the opportunity to meet these gentlemen, what kind of guys are they? I'm trying to say something impressive if I have my 2 minutes of fame standing right there. So what does a smart girl say in like 2 minutes?
One, hi.
Yes, I gathered.
Don't pass out. They're just they're just so. Tommy Flanagan, it was a lot of hi, how you doing? Had some lunch together. He's definitely a card behind the scenes. But I never really got to sit and really talk to him. I think out of all of them, he was the one I did not talk to too much.
Okay.
I wish I did. He was always on set. He's here, he's there, and we catch him really only at lunch. As far as myself running into him, because if he was kicking back, well, the Mayans were called, so there we go. So he's awesome. Now Theo, we started talking, and he lives in the next city over from me. And, just I can describe SOA as awesome.
That's great. Yeah. And I've heard good things about Theo, too, actually. I know people speak very highly of him quite a bit, and so I'm actually quite excited to get that opportunity to be standing there, because it's like I just hear such good things about him. There's just not a bad word I can think of about him. I just can't. Definitely not. But I will say this much, sir. There's 3 things that I can say based on this whole interview that I've had with you. I find you to be very refreshing, even though you're a veteran, as you call yourself. I think the body of work that you've offered us thus far has been captivating. I find it interesting. I find your technique to be different than the other guys on the show, and I can just say that personally because I'm a fan of the show. And you're just hands down a hell of a nice guy. I don't know how else to describe you. I think you're terrific. I think I'm going to need you to come back on the show again, probably before the end of the year, because hopefully you'll have something else that you want to promote. I hope to get to meet you when I come to L.A. or whenever I get there, which hopefully will be sooner than later. I would love that. And certainly anytime you need anything promoted, feel free to let me know at any given point in time, because I'm sure that we will get word out for you anytime that we can.
Absolutely. And it was a pure pleasure. I love it. It was great, and it's neat for me. I haven't. This is actually my first phone interview.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh my God! Now I was nervous about this. I was thinking, oh my God, he's going to think that I'm a total failure. And look at this. It was like a virgin experience.
You're my first.
Well, let's hope that I didn't pop your cherry too hard. Oh, that was wrong to say. Please forgive me. I hope your wife forgives me. I had to throw that in there. My goodness. But I tried to be very good to you, and hopefully I've done my job. And just to let you know, if you want to let your fans know, at the end of this interview, of course, in about 20 minutes or so, this becomes an archived episode. So anyone who fans at any time now, today, tomorrow, month, year from now, can go back and listen to the show at any given point in time.
Very good.
Always
really
definitely. Oh, and like I said, don't be a stranger. Please come back and visit me, please.
I sure will.
All right, honey. Well, thank you so much. I won't keep you anymore. My love to your wife, of course. I hope everything is okay with your family.
I appreciate it.
All right, dear. You take care.
Everybody take care. Have a great weekend.
Thanks.
All righty.
All right, that was an absolutely amazing interview with Eddie. Again, I have to say I am just so very grateful that I had an opportunity to spend an hour with him. I want to say thank you so much to the individuals that got a chance to actually call in tonight. I am so sorry for those of you who didn't get a chance to get in for some odd reason. Hopefully you'll get another opportunity to tune in. In fact, before I let you go, there's just two little items here. First of which, again, as always, I want to say thank you to Sam Crow for helping me to set up this interview and to, of course, keep the show rolling. So kudos to him, of course. Obviously, we all know and love him. That goes without saying. Thank you again to Eddie, obviously, for being here. Thank you to everybody who is listening. I want to let you know that next week we're going to be, hopefully, unless I get canceled on or anything else happens with my family, Carl McDowell will be coming on the show next week. That much I can tell you. I wish I could give you a confirmed time and date, but we're in process of trying to figure that out right now. So the last thing I wanted to say to you all before I let you go is just a simple request. Even the talk show herself at some point in time has to ask for something of her audience. And so I will ask to the individuals who are listening if you wouldn't mind taking a moment or two to pray for my family, my direct family. We have a situation going on where I have a very dear friend of mine who has been through a very large domestic abuse situation, and she is on the run and she is in fear of her life, and so I'm praying very, very hard for her safety. I would ask you to do the same, actually. I also have a situation with my direct family, as I said, my father. We're on kind of a suicide watch right now, and so unfortunately, again, I need to ask for some prayers from all of you. It's just not been a very good time for me, and I appreciate all of the care and concern and the hugs and the individuals who've reached out to me. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, and if you could take the time to do that, I would appreciate it. So again, I'll let you go for now. Please feel free to tune in next week. I will get a date and time posted up as soon as I can for Carl, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.